Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name's Drew, this is Just a Guy Linux. And as most of you know, I am generally working with Debian stable all the time. And in fact, I don't really deviate from the Debian packages or the Debian repos. So I am not using the most up-to-date software basically for anything. Which is fine with me because I use BSPWM and I don't think it's been updated since Bullseye. And not to mention the fact that I don't even use tools like Kdenlive or anything like that. Regardless, I am still interested in stuff that's really kind of cool looking to me. And Hyprland was one of those things. Not to mention, a lot of you have asked about Hyprland in the comments. And so today I'm going to try and use Debian testing to build Hyprland. And so what you're currently looking at is Hyprland running on my test machine. Now it's on Metal, so it's not on a virtual machine. So I did it once, and so what I'm going to try to do is replicate that now. So I think the best way to do this is just to wipe the whole thing, start all the way over again, and that's what I'll do right now. So anyway, I'm going to sudo reboot, and I'll start from scratch. Now I'm just using the regular bookworm network installation. So we will change everything to Trixie, which is the testing environment. So what I'm going to do is, and I've done this many, many times, so if you need to pause, feel free. But I am going to try to do this in about, 5.5 minutes. And I'm going to go down one. And I will apologize if I do pause and not say anything for a minute or two. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not that interesting. It's true. Just ask my son. All right. Should have it. Remember that speed run I did back in the, I don't know how many months ago that was, but that was fun. All right, Hyprland is going to be the name of this, and I don't want root, but I do want Drew. And I'm in the eastern part of the US. I am not going to be doing ButterFS. I will save that. I have a video in the future that's going to be doing ButterFS, and it'll be good. In fact, it was another recommendation from another commenter. So yes, GPT, and let's do this. I'm going to create, and I'm just going to go ahead and say 256 meg, and I will use this as EFI. Done. And one more, and that's fine too. And so let's finish. And I don't want to go back, but I do want to write the changes. And let's install the base system. Now what I will probably do is pause periodically, especially during the installation of Hyprland, because there are a couple parts that take quite a bit of time, actually. Hopefully it worked. I haven't, this is like my second time trying this. We shall see. I wish I was better at Kdenlive because then I could just cut out like 3 or 4 seconds or whatever, 5 seconds. I don't even know how long that kind of pause was, but that would be cool. And US, and I am going to go down to this ATL mirrors. And yes, and yes, and yes. And since we are going to use Trixie, I don't really need the backports, so I'm just going to use these two and hit continue. Nope. I think this PC might be a little slow. Nope. And I am going to take those out, and I'm just going to install the standard utils. Here we go. Should be only another half minute. Here we go. All right. I am going to pause for a second. All right, back, and let's log in. And so sudo dpkg reconfigure console setup. And let's do this, and let's go all the way down. And there you go. Okay. So let's sudo apt install micro zram tools and git, and that should do for now. Okay, let's clear the screen. And so actually, let me just go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to say sudo micro etc default zram swap. And so I'm just going to set up my ZRAM, and Control S, Control Q, and now what I'm going to do is sudo micro etc apt sources list. And as you can guess, if you're going to install bookworm, if you're going to install Hyprland, I would recommend not using bookworm. You need more up-to-date testing type level packages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use micro, say Control E, and say replace all, and then the name of what I'm going to replace is bookworm, and I'm going to change it to Trixie. Okay, and there it just changed everything for me. Now Control S and Control Q, and so now when I say sudo apt update, it's got me the new packages, and so I'm going to sudo apt upgrade. Okay, So what I'm going to do while this is going on, I will go ahead and pause. Okay, so we're back, and the only other thing that I did prior to rebooting was to install NeoFetch. Let me go ahead and just show you that we are up to Debian, Trixie, and the kernel is 6.6.13. Cool. All right, so I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to git clone, and I'm going to go to my GitHub, and Drew Griff, and Debian, and -hyprland. Okay, and so let's go into Hyprland. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into installer.sh, and what this is going to show is install everything in the dependencies script, and then the way packages and file manager and so on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you. I don't think it's going to look very good because I'm not very good at the syntax for shell scripting, but I will go ahead and just go into the resources and then ls. Okay, and so if I say micro 01 dependencies, you're going to see a bunch of stuff. So make sure you look at this before you run this. I don't think there's going to be a typo or anything like that, but just for your own information. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and quit. And then I'm going to and run 01 dependencies. So, and there you go. So I'll pause. I don't think this is going to take very long though. Okay, and that didn't take very long. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen and then ls again. Ls. So we're going to go to number 2 and just see if that looks any better. Not really. So we'll go ahead and just Control Q and then run 02. Run 02 way packages, and there you go. And again. All right, we're up to 03. So let's go into micro. Now again, this is where you can change some stuff. As most of you know, I like Thunar as my file manager, my GTK file manager, and this will work still in Wayland. But if you want to change it up, you're welcome to. Anyway, and I'm going to go. I should probably be able to just let this go, right? And then not have to pause. But I will. All right, here we are, and we're up to number 4, which is Hyprland. So let me go ahead and show you. It's not a big script. The dependencies are everything, basically. So you're going to just, I'm just going to download the newest version from what I can tell, which is 35, and then I'm going to make and sudo make install. And I'm also going to going ahead and adding the hyprland.desktop file to the Wayland sessions directory so that when we do install SDDM, it picks it up easily and we won't have any problems in the future. So go ahead and Control Q. Now this might take a bit, so I am going to let this go. Okay, let's go with what's going next here. Hyprland and then NWG look. Now, if you're familiar with the video that I did on Sway, and that was some time ago, I used NWG look instead of something like LX appearance. Basically, that's what it does. It takes the place of LX appearance in Wayland. So we're going to get this to install. I don't think it's going to take that long, but I will go ahead and pause. Okay, I went ahead and did 2 more installations while I had paused. By the way, the NWG look took quite a long time, so don't be surprised if it does take longer than you think it's going to take. Okay, so I did the fonts. I installed fonts, and I did this Rofi wayland. Now, Rofi, as you know, I use for BSPWM, so X11. This is a fork of Rofi, and it's obviously for wayland. So that took very little time to install as well. All right. And so we only got one more thing, and that's the login manager. And if you want, it's SDDM, but let's just go ahead and look at that real quick. And all I'm doing is installing SDDM, but I am just installing the minimal packages. So it's not going to look great. And so we can build on this later, but I just want it to get working. So I'm just going to hit Control. And let's install that. Okay, so I think all we need to do is reboot. So let's take advantage of that and say reboot. All right. Now, if everything worked out correctly, then we're gold. Oh, so far so good. So we've got Hyprland in the session, and we've got a login. And I did pass my, and there you go. There's Hyprland ready to go. So I haven't done anything with the configuration file. That might be one that we do in another video. But as you can see, Super Q should open Kitty, which we installed. So what I'm going to do is let's go to the configuration file, okay? And I'm just going to do this real quick so that so micro and then config hyper and then Hyprland config. Okay, so let's go ahead and this yellow thing, this yellow bar across here, we're just gonna comment that out. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's do real quick before we do anything else. Let's go to .config hyper ls. And let's go ahead and copy Hyprland to Hyprland.back, just so that we have an extra one. And now let's go ahead and go into the configuration file. And I went ahead and did comment this out real quick. But as you can see, the file manager here by default is Dolphin. So we're going to change that to Thunar. And we're using Rofi. So let's go Rofi here. Okay, since we are using Rofi, let's make sure that we take one of these dashes out, and then let's say run. I think maybe that should do it. Let's just say Control S and then Super R. And there you go. So it works. Just take one of those dashes out. What else? Let's move down and let's look at some of these key bindings, because I know this is going to drive me insane. Okay, so Super Q I'll never use for terminal, so let's just say return here. And to kill the active window, I'm going to say Q. And then file manager, I always use F for file manager. And then what else? That's good enough for right now. Okay, but just those. Oh wait, Super R, so menu. I use super space. So let's Control S now. If I hit super space, we're still good. Okay. Now I just want to actually let's go ahead and open up Firefox rather. Okay, cool. And so Super F, and there you go. So we've got the beginnings of a really nice, and so actually, you know, as you can tell, I'm not using any type of bar at the moment. But this was just designed to get it installed on Debian, which is not super straightforward. So I hope that this helps some of you to get started using Hyprland and Wayland, and I'll see you in the next time. Oh yeah, one more thing before I really sign off. Make sure if you are interested in changing your theme, you just go to this GTK settings. I'm going to go ahead and close, and there you go. So there's no widgets, there's no GTK themes or anything at the moment, but that is where you will change it in the future. So anyway, take care. Thanks for your suggestion, and talk to you soon.